It has been about 2 months since my last update video about Team 0%. If you don't know, we are trying to beat every single uncleared level remaining in Mario Maker, and we just crossed over a huge milestone. As of February 2nd, there are only 2,500 levels left, and we have just over 2 months left to make that number 0. That's actually another update. We now have an exact date that the servers will go offline, April 8th, but enough about the timeline. Today, I want to go over some of the most impressive clears since my last update video, as well as cover some levels that still pose a threat. We'll start with the level that I get asked about the most. Ness's 150 wall jump consistency level. This actually has been cleared. Fritzif was able to beat it relatively quickly. Every single one of these jumps is frame perfect, so your inputs have to be timed within 1/60th of a second. Ness also had a shorter version with 125 wall jumps that Fritz also cleared. Funnily enough though, this level has a lower clear rate and took Fritz longer to beat. Regardless, this is an insane accomplishment. The creator of this level, Ness, has also been consistently grinding hard levels. He and YK don't post clear videos as far as I know, but they have been putting in work on levels with over 3,000 attempts. YK has over 300 clears, and Ness is approaching 100. And considering how hard the levels they choose to play are, these numbers are really impressive. We also have to talk about probably the hardest level we had remaining, the SMB1 monster known as Beast Needle. King Boo cleared this level, but he hasn't released his clear video just yet. What you're seeing is me trying to play the level in editor and getting absolutely destroyed. Some jumps I couldn't do after 5+ minutes of attempting them. I might not be the best precision player in the world, but this level is extremely difficult and I can't wait for King Boo to upload his clear video. That's not the only level that King Boo has knocked out for us though. He's also played some much shorter levels from some of the best players at the time, like this ground pound cancel level from IKGL. You need pretty close to perfect stalls to wait out the P-switch timers while also maneuvering between spikes. He also beat this tech level by Yu, widely considered Mario Maker 1's best ever player, where you have to get a perfect delayed boot jump and a perfect min float jump without hitting the ceiling. Both of these levels, while short, are incredibly precise. Speaking of Yu, he had a really hard shell level that he never uploaded, but someone uploaded a 5x consistency level of a small section of that level. Nick Bygones was able to beat it, and that's just one of his many impressive clears. He also beat a level called Memorial Speedrun, which was uploaded after the release of Mario Maker 2. It took him about 50 hours, which honestly is pretty quick for how hard this level is. Another common question I get is about impossible levels. Mario Maker 1 has a lot of tricks patched out retroactively, making some levels impossible. Those levels get reviewed by the team to see if we can find cheese, and one player named Norway has been absolutely crushing levels that everyone else thought were impossible. He doesn't just cheese impossible levels though. Regular viewers of the channel will remember when I put 12 hours onto the last level from Switzerland, and Norway beat me to the clear. Well, you have to check out how he did it. Turns out, the death key door that was meant to be an anti-key check can be used to get all the way to the end. You just have to keep Yoshi, and then use him to get the indicator key and fly back up to the door. Since I mentioned defeating entire countries, let's take a look at the list of countries. There are very few levels left from anywhere other than Japan and America. There are 24 levels from Germany, 11 from Great Britain, 9 from Canada, and fewer levels from 9 other countries. People have been focusing on these quote-unquote exotic levels, so most of the remaining ones are pretty hard. The team has also been focusing on 2016 levels, and now there are just under 100 levels from that year. Warspy recently beat the oldest uncleared level from July of that year. It's a really hard Yoshi Kaizo by Endstrife with some really precise tricks, including this one where you bounce off a shellmet and tongue it on the same frame. Huge accomplishment by Warspy there. Another category that was getting a lot of attention were game styles. SMB1 has 17 levels left, and as of a few days ago, SMB3 has 0. The last one to fall was a collab level between Pete and JC the Champ. It has 10 mid-air inputs as well as some fire bars that force really specific movement. Time Attack Tony was able to take this one down after grinding it for just a few days. He also figured out cheese to skip 2 mid-airs and was able to clutch out the last mini-mid and take down an entire game style. SMB1 will most likely be the next game style to fall, but it has some really ridiculous levels left. One SMB1 maker that we don't have to worry about anymore though is called Shiro Pikumin. Krypta just recently beat his last level, but this creator has been on Team 0%'s radar for a very long time. In fact, the first clear screenshot in the Discord was actually of the Bookmarks website. These levels were so ridiculously precise that at one point some people were convinced that this player was actually using a task to upload these levels. But now that they're all cleared, we can confirm that they are humanly possible. Shiro was a creator that people would point to when they said there was no way every level would ever be cleared, so proving those people wrong has been really exciting. Precision levels often look much easier than they actually are, and this level by Mojikun is no exception. Blast recently knocked this one out after spending 13 hours grinding the same one jump level, and you just have to hear his reaction.
Yes! Fuck yes! It's over!
I also want to provide some updates on the levels that I talked about last time. The Bombitos overworld was cleared by Ryan WR, shockingly quickly actually, and Boundary Space was cleared by Yoshi. Those two levels were pretty concerning, but I also discovered this crazy shell level that's mostly pretty easy, but then ends in a buffed momentum Mori shell hopping section. There was no way I was ever beating this, so I handed it off to Ark, and after 50 deaths to the last section, he was able to clear it. What a gamer. Last time I also mentioned how Badoko was clearing a bunch of really hard and tedious levels from Conan. Well, I'm very happy to report that Conan has been completely defeated. The last level he had was his crazy P-Switch Goomba escort, and Badoko was able to get the clear after several weeks of grinding on stream. We also have had a huge update from Nintendo since December. If you tried to play the game over the Christmas break, you definitely encountered Error 106. Well, on January 11th, Nintendo took the service offline for maintenance, and when it came back up, it was fixed. This error was very annoying, and I honestly think if it kept happening, people would be extremely demotivated and we would not be nearly as far as we are now. So credit where credit's due, Nintendo actually fixed something in an 8-year-old game that's about to get shut down. So we've clearly made incredible progress, but there are still lots of levels left to be concerned about. For one, Choco's levels are still uncleared. Beasley's been making really good progress on one of them, and it looks like Norway is also playing it, but until it has a clear flag, I will continue to worry about it. We also have some other ridiculous speedruns from American makers like Fly and Time Attack Tony. Fly has In Bloom, a really hard Fire Flower level with a super tight timer, and Anthony has a 110-second time attack level called Paradise Plaza, which has more standard time attack tricks, but also has a super tight timer. Since I'm already mentioning Fly, I want to mention that he also has a 10-second Yoshi level that we actually don't know the solution for. It's part time attack, part puzzle. Figuring out the strategy for this might be a little difficult. Speaking of puzzles, Brack has a monster of a puzzle that no one has been able to figure out so far. This one is going to be really interesting to see the community route together. I didn't think that I'd ever be concerned about a puzzle level, but this one has me kind of worried. We also still have Trimming the Herbs by Ahoyo. I apparently underestimated just how hard this level is, and it could wind up being a very long grind for someone. We also have a water precision level from a maker named Zun. This one looks absolutely miserable, so good luck to whoever plays it. Then there are still lots of mid-air levels uncleared. There's a 32 mid-air level by Finch, a 37 mid-air level by Sepet, and lots of mini-mid levels in the 15 to 25 range. These are starting to be more concerning, but people like Mojikun, Ketchum, and Rainbow have been chipping away at the list. That's all the levels I want to go over for today. The levels are getting harder and harder, but I will keep trying my best to clear at least one a day. It has been really exciting watching the team's progress. I'm actually more confident than ever that we can achieve this goal. Be sure to follow me on Twitch to keep up with what I'm beating. It should be a very interesting next 2 months.